A couple of months ago I applied for an Arkwright Scholarship. It's an engineering scholarship that's available to you if you're in year 11 in the UK. And to get the scholarship you have to complete 3 things. First of all, you have to do an application form in which you write some things about you and what you like to do in your spare time in relation to engineering, and about your qualifications and what you want to do in the future in university and anything like that. The second part is an aptitude test that you have to take, which kind of determines if you would be suitable to go into work doing engineering or design or anything like that. I did this a couple of weeks ago and the experience was a bit surreal. It followed the same rules as a normal exam as you'd do in year 11. As in, I was led into a room and assigned a seat, but instead of being given an exam paper like I normally would, I was given 3 large sheets of A3 paper. The aim of this aptitude test gives you an opportunity to show off how inventive and creative you are, which allows the examiner to understand how capable you would be if you were faced with a situation and how good you are at solving problems. In the aptitude test there are 2 sections, each with 2 questions. In section A, you have to design 3 solutions to a problem that they will give you. This is the point where you have to be all creative and basically come up with the wackiest ideas you can, but that still would be able to function if they were engineered properly. The 2 questions that they gave you for section A in this year, the first one, the plants at a local reserve are being stolen. You had to design 3 methods to prevent people from coming in and stealing the plants. I didn't go for that one, I went for question B. Design 3 safety features which you could implement to make driving cars safer for the driver, the passengers and the pedestrians walking across the street. I just thought that kind of had more variety of what you could design. What I did for this, my first solution was at a pelican crossing. It's the one where you have to press a button to cross. When someone walks up and presses the button, 2 rubber rungs come up either side of the pelican crossing, kind of big bars of rubber. This would prevent cars from driving across as someone's crossing the road. It would also kind of act as a deterrent because cars wouldn't want to go over the rubber because it kind of acts like a speed bump, which is uncomfortable. So it would also make them slow down as they came towards it, meaning that it would be safer for the people crossing. My second idea was to do with car doors and the fact that I wanted to design something that would stop people from opening their car doors all the way, because people going on bikes across or pedestrians or something could get hit as you open the door. So I designed a mechanism which was 2 metal plates that slid over each other, and as you open the door, the first one would slide and then jolt, so that you wouldn't be able to open the door any further than you already had without pressing a button on the side of the door, because this would make the people in the driver's seat look behind them or look in front to make sure that nothing's coming before they open their door fully. And my other one was the mosquito noise that drives teenagers away from dark areas. I kind of used that in a different way. In my design I said that there would be 3 sensors put at the front of a car, so that if that's detected, if someone was walking within 2 meters of a car front. So if a child were to walk in front of a car, the car would then send out 3 very, very high-pitched beeps, kind of like the mosquito noise, which would then warn the child but not disturb anyone else over the age of 12 because of the frequency of their hearing, and so kind of just a child safety protection thing. So for the second section of the Arkwright aptitude paper you also have 2 questions, but this time you only have to design 1 thing for one of the questions that you choose. You have to spend the whole hour on that one design, doing 2 or 3 pages of development ideas and explaining how it would actually work. This one had to be a lot more practical than the other 3, and you'd have to make sure that it actually would work if it were to be manufactured. The first question asks you to design a mechanism which would set out chairs in groups of 6, attached to the back of a lorry, so that it would drop chairs in rows of 6 on their own, or groups of 6, or something like that. But I didn't choose that one. I went for the second option, which was you need to design a mechanism which would sort tennis balls into boxes and close the boxes itself. That question, I had a conveyor going one way and a conveyor also going the other way, so there were 2 belts going like that, one on top of the other. This one would have the tennis balls coming along in a straight line, and this one going this way would have the boxes. Every 3 seconds the box one would stop, so that the boxes would stop in line of where the balls would fall off the conveyor on the top. As the boxes stopped, this conveyor continues going, which means that the balls, as they came along the conveyor, they would then drop off and fall into the box underneath that was kept stationary. However, I then had the conundrum of trying to get it so that the box would close as well. If that's the box, it kind of travelled along the conveyor like that, this being the lid, this being the box. If this was the first conveyor which the balls fall through, the balls would fall down into this box, but then the lid would be touching that conveyor, so then when the box conveyor starts again, it would then close the box lid as it hit the conveyor at the top. I'm still waiting for my results on the aptitude test. I think I get them in March sometime. But the third part of getting this Arkwright Scholarship is attending an interview. which they ask you about your application that you made in the first place, and just find out more about you and see if you are actually someone who could get this scholarship. The benefits of getting this scholarship is that you get given £600 over 2 years, that's £300 a year from Arkwright, to help you in any studies that you want to do. You also get more opportunities for work experience. I guess it's suitable for anyone who's interested in engineering at all, because anyone can write an application and have a go at the aptitude test, because even though it was like an exam, it was the most fun 2 hours that I'd ever spent on a paper. So if you're in year 10 at the moment, I'd suggest going forward for it if you've got any interest in engineering or design, because it opens up so many more doors, and you might as well. So go ahead, do it.